Income and poverty statistics gauge the health of the U.S. economy. We're able to see national trends and compare the economic well-being of different groups, such as women versus men, children versus people aged 65 and older, and urban versus rural residents. Income is a measure of all cash or money resources coming into a household. It includes wages and earnings from work, as well as Social Security benefits, retirement income, interest, dividends, and public assistance. It does not account for taxes paid, tax credits, or non-cash assistance such as SNAP benefits, Medicaid, and Medicare. We often talk about changes and trends in median household income. The median is the value that divides the income distribution in half. So half of all households have income above the median, half below. Poverty is a measure of how many individuals live in families with incomes below the poverty threshold, meaning they don't have adequate resources to meet their basic needs. Thresholds vary by the size of the family and the ages of the family members. In 2017, a family with 2 adults and 2 children was considered in poverty if their income was below $24,858. Poverty rates help government officials and social services providers develop policies and target benefits. The Income and Poverty Report is based on data from the Current Population Survey's Annual Social and Economic Supplement, CPS-ASEC. Let me begin by summarizing the main findings regarding income, earnings, and work experience. Median household income for the nation was $61,400 in 2017, an increase in real terms of 1.8% from 2016. The 2017 real median earnings of all male workers increased 3% from 2016, while the change in the median earnings for their female counterparts was not statistically significant. The number of workers with earnings increased by 1.7 million between 2016 and 2017. The number of individuals who worked full-time year-round increased by 2.4 million. Let me start by giving more details about the changes we observed in household median income. This chart shows median household income from 1967 to 2017 in real, inflation-adjusted dollars. Recessions, as defined by the National Bureau of Economic Research, are depicted in this and all time series charts in light shading. Real median household income was $61,400 in 2017, an increase in real terms of 1.8% from the 2016 median of $60,300. This is the third consecutive annual increase in median household income. The 2017 median household income appears to be the highest median household income ever reported from the CPS-ASEC. However, comparisons to estimates prior to 2013 must be made with caution as the income questions were redesigned in the 2014 CPS-ASEC for income in 2013. Our analysis of the redesigned income questions found that they increased estimates of median household income for 2013 by about 3.2%. One method for adjusting pre-2013 median household income estimates to make them comparable to current estimates is to increase them by this same 3.2%. With this adjustment, as shown by the orange dotted line on this slide, and after adjusting for inflation, the 2017 median household income is not statistically different from the pre-recession estimate for 2007, or the year with the highest estimated median household income, 1999. These adjustments are not made in our official publications and table packages because they require the assumption that the 3.2% difference between responses to the historical questions and the redesigned questions in 2013 would have been identical in all years before 2013. Additionally, this adjustment applies to overall household median income and not necessarily to the medians for household subgroups. Next, we show household income by race and Hispanic origin of the householder. The real median income of households maintained by non-Hispanic whites and Hispanics increased 2.6% and 3.7% respectively between 2016 and 2017. This is the third annual increase in median household income for these two groups. Among the race groups, households maintained by Asians had the highest median income in 2017, $81,300. While the median represents 1 point on the distribution of household income, other points provide additional information. For example, 10% of the households had income below $14,200. 10% of households had income above $179,100, and 5% had income above $237,000. Changes in the relationship of these income measures and the shares of income they possess shown in the full report, can indicate how income inequality is changing. Between 2016 and 2017, incomes at the 50th, 90th, and 95th percentiles increased 1.8, 2.8, and 3.0% respectively, while the change in income at the 10th percentile was not statistically significant. Using the information about the distribution of household income, we can produce a Gini index, a widely used measure of inequality. The Gini index is a statistical measure of income inequality ranging from 0 to 1, indicating higher inequality as the index approaches 1. The Gini index was 0.482 in 2017, not statistically different from 2016. These next slides switch to earnings and work experience data for people aged 15 and older. Here we see historical data on the real median earnings of all workers and full-time year-round workers from 1960 to 2017. Earnings are the sum of wages, salary, and self-employment income. In 2017, 79% of aggregate income came from earnings. The 2017 real median earnings of all male workers increased 3% from 2016 to $44,400, while the median earnings for their female counterparts, $31,600, were not statistically different from 2016. In 2017, the real median earnings of men and women who worked full-time year-round each decreased from their respective 2016 medians by 1.1%. Here we see the female-to-male earnings ratio historically. The female-to-male earnings ratio compares the median earnings of women and men working full-time year-round. The 2017 female-to-male earnings ratio was 80.5%, not statistically different from 2016. Year-to-year changes in this ratio are not common. However, since 2007, the female-to-male earnings ratio has increased 3.5% from 77.8% to the current 80.5%. This slide shows the number of workers historically by work experience and sex. Between 2016 and 2017, the total number of people with earnings, regardless of work experience, increased by 1.7 million. The number of men with earnings increased by 1.2 million, while the change for women was not statistically significant. The number of men and women full-time year-round workers increased by 1.4 million and 1 million respectively between 2016 and 2017, continuing a shift from part-time, part-year work status to full-time, year-round work status. Now we'll take a look at poverty. This slide shows the official poverty rate and the number of people in poverty. The official poverty rate in 2017 was 12.3%, down from 12.7% in 2016. In 2017, there were 39.7 million people in poverty, not statistically different from the number in poverty in 2016. In 2017, a family with 2 adults and 2 children was categorized as in poverty if its income was less than $24,858. This is the 3rd consecutive annual decline in poverty. Since 2014, the poverty rate has fallen 2.5 percentage points from 14.8% to 12.3%. The estimates of the official poverty rates are calculated in accordance with the Office of Management and Budget's Statistical Policy Directive 14. Here we demonstrate the differences in poverty trends across race and Hispanic origin groups. In 2017, the poverty rate was 8.7% for non-Hispanic whites, 21.2% for blacks, and 10% for Asians. For non-Hispanic whites, blacks, and Asians, the poverty rates were not statistically different from 2016. For Hispanics, the poverty rate decreased to 18.3% in 2017, down from 19.4% in 2016. This slide looks at poverty rates by age. For individuals under age 18, 17.5% were in poverty in 2017, not statistically different from 2016. Poverty in 2017 decreased for people aged 18 to 64 to 11.2%, down from 11.6% in 2016. People aged 65 and older had a poverty rate of 9.2% in 2017, not statistically different from 2016. The poverty rate for females has historically been higher than the poverty rate for males. In 1966, the poverty rate for females was 3.3 percentage points higher than for males. In 2017, the difference in rates across females and males was 2.6 percentage points, not statistically different than the 3.3 percentage point gap in 1966. Age, however, matters. In 1966, poverty was 8.5 percentage points higher among females aged 65 and older compared to their male counterparts. By 2017, this difference had narrowed to 3 percentage points. While 12.3% of the population in 2017 were in poverty, 5.7% of the population had incomes below 50% of their poverty threshold, meaning the family or individual received less than half of the income necessary to meet their poverty threshold. For a family with 2 adults and 2 children, this would be an income less than $12,429 per year in 2017. In 1975, the first year for which we have published data on income to poverty ratios, the poverty rate was also 12.3%, but the percent with income below 50% of their poverty threshold was 3.7%. This slide looks at the proportion of people in poverty with income below 50% of their poverty threshold. Since 1975, the percent of the poverty population with income below 50% of their poverty threshold has increased 16.7 percentage points, from 30.1% to the current 46.7%. More information on income and poverty is available in the report and online.